Welcome to JMO with Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, February 28th. And Joe, we are back.
Back again.
We had a little bit of a vacation. We decided we deserved a little bit of a break, and so we took one.
Is that what we decided?
No. I got way too hammered on Mardi Gras, and there was no way we were going to do the show at all. It was Mardi Gras, man. Cut me some slack. But yeah, so I got hammered, and we. No show on Fat Tuesday there. But hey, we needed a break. We worked really hard during football season, so I think it was well deserved, don't you?
Fun fact: New Orleans actually shuts down. Like all their businesses shut down during Mardi Gras. So I mean, honestly, we just abide by the New Orleans holiday schedule.
It's a location thing.
Yes.
We're in close proximity to New Orleans. All the businesses shut down, so we followed suit.
Yeah, we're a business.
We are. Yes, we actually we made that official 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago. Yeah, we got the LLC. So we got JMO at joshandjoe.com.
Alrighty.
JMOentertainment.com.
Got a domain and official
everything,
name.
All of it. So, anyways, let's see. I'm not gonna lie, Joe. I'm glad that I had a drunken stupor there because life without football is weird.
Life without football.
Yeah. What do you do without football? Like I don't know. See, so like I woke up. I kept waking up in the morning and just like. I had no articles to read, no football to watch. So I'm like, maybe I need to compose just make a list of things that I can do like without football. Mm-hmm. And I came up with a couple of them. My favorites. This is one of my favorites. You can watch the 76ers and the Flyers not win the championship. That's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Because fuck the city of Philadelphia. I hope the 76ers make it to the finals and lose.
It would continue on with the theme.
Oh, it's beautiful. The Philadelphia Union, the Phillies, the Eagles.
Yep.
It would be so perfect. And the Flyers suck. So actually, I have no idea if the Flyers suck. Here, I want to look it up. I think that last time I checked, I didn't think they were doing very well, but I think they could have. I actually kind of hope they are doing well. Let's see what they're.
They could turn around for a championship run.
Yeah, dude, a champion. Oh no, they're not. They're not going anywhere. Never mind.
Okay.
They're not. Anyways, well, the 76ers look like they're about to get there. I also you can farm ants. I was thinking about it.
Ooh, farming ants.
Yeah, farming ants. It's kind of a cool, like, you just, like, you know how they have those, like, little glass boxes or whatever you put them in, and you just watch them, like, dig tunnels and shit.
Yep.
This is how bored my brain was.
Yeah.
I thought about giving myself CTE until next season, just so that I don't remember any of it.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
That was a thought I had.
That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
That was a drunk one.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, a lot of these are my drunk ones. Well, this is a sober one. You can say you're going to read a book because I love saying I'm going to read a book and never actually doing it.
Okay.
I was thought about taking steroids.
Okay, taking steroids.
Yeah, getting jacked.
You know what? No, don't be surprised if you get a test. Get a little text for testing.
Oh yeah.
After this episode, because you said that from the NFL.
I know. Maybe I'll post a fake video like DK Metcalf did.
Yep.
And then dunk on him.
And then, post a fake video.
I might post a fake video and then get drug tested. I fell for that video, by the way. Yeah. I thought it was real. I was like, yeah, DK Metcalf absolutely can soar like that.
You know what? I would have believed it more so if I hadn't already saw the Steph Curry and the Tom Brady one.
Yeah.
So I think it was the same. I didn't look into it as hard, but I think it's the same video editor who's like incredible.
The guy is awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's making me just not believe in the internet even more so. Making me have trust issues even more than I have right now
with the internet, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean I'm very gullible. You show me something like that and I'll believe it. Mm-hmm. But it has to cater to my interests.
Yep.
I'm not gonna you can't show me I don't know, like a horse doing some type of like acrobatic, flip or something. I'm like, nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's got to be something I'm interested in. Another thing you could do is, this was a drunk one, definitely a drunk one because I completely mixed this up. I said drink plutonium and sit in darkness for 3 days.
Okay.
I guess I didn't really know what Aaron Rodgers was drinking, so
I was about to say that seemed very targeted.
Yeah, I think like I just thought about Back to the Future and Aaron Rodgers and mixed those two together or something like that.
You just need to get to 1.21 gigawatts.
I guess so. Yeah, and then sit in darkness and go to do some DMT. I don't know. I also thought about hibernating until the NFL draft.
That's actually pretty smart.
Maybe waking up for a meal during the combine.
Just put yourself in a self coma.
Yeah, self coma. I'll be a grizzly bear for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I guess the last thing I had was I'll pretend to give a shit about baseball.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to be in a fantasy baseball team this year.
Nice.
I'm gonna do my best to give a shit about baseball this year.
Well, there's no better way to actually get yourself into a sport or submerge yourself into a sport than fantasy.
Absolutely. If you really want to learn something about a sport, do fantasy. And I'm talking like don't just draft a team. Actually keep up with it week to week. Mm-hmm. You will learn everything there is to know about that sport.
Yeah.
At least the statistics behind it.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go deeper, you can learn how they acquire the statistics. And then you'll watch the games and you'll understand how the game works.
Yeah. Especially if you start putting some favoritism. Like if you don't have a team or if there's not a team locally, like especially like in the New Orleans area, there's not an MLB team locally for us. Like if you put some time and effort and get to kind of actually, I guess, get close to some of your players, get those fantasy bonds that we all have.
We know all about that with playing fantasy football.
Exactly. So
Joe still has a love affair with Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I still have the letters.
I still love Aaron Rodgers and Keenan Allen.
Yes.
For some stupid reason.
So if you don't have a team around you, you can bond with those players and then bond with that franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. That's about all I had. What are you gonna do? During Life Without Football.
So Life Without Football with me started off with, I proceeded to sleep in on my Saturday, till 11 a.m., which is perfect time, and then I proceeded to turn on the television. However, this time when I scrolled through the, list of channels, I could not, for the next hour or two, could not find, a football game.
You felt a little lost, huh?
Yeah, I was very lost. I was very lost.
It's a weird place.
Yes, yeah. So then I just began to sit in silence, and imagine football games in my head.
Oh, that put yourself in that situation. They say if you really pretend like you're eating a meal, it almost makes you full.
Yes. So I kind of immersed myself into the old school virtual reality. It's just your imagination.
Yeah. The Einstein version of virtual reality.
Exactly. So, and then I proceeded to wake up, Sunday morning at 12 o'clock and proceed to do the same thing with NFL games. So, little did I learn, the day before. So, yeah, Life Without Football it's been a little bit tough so far.
It's weird.
Yep. I decided to fix that leaky pipe that was leaky enough to be annoying, but not leaky enough to actually do any damage and not actually do it instantly.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
You grew up a little bit. You're doing chores around the house.
Yes.
That's actually okay. So Life Without Football has so far been productive for you.
It's not been bad. It's not been bad.
Maybe physically. I'm talking physically. And mentally, I'm sure you're just as much of a train wreck as I am.
Well, of course. But you know what? I went out and got a snow cone, made it all better.
You did? Okay. So let's fix our leaky pipes and get snow cones.
And get a snow cone. Yep. Also, I did notice this, and maybe I was today years old when I found this out, but I noticed that when football ends, it starts getting warmer again, and golf kind of comes back in. It's full swing.
Let's
literally.
Let's specify that we are in South Louisiana where it does start getting warm mid-February.
Yeah.
I last weekend I played golf.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up to our tea time, Joe.
Yeah, that was that was another story.
We took full advantage of our vacation. Let's put it that way.
Well, that was the thing. I did my normal, Friday night routine where I just got hammered and enough to make me sleep in until 11 a.m. when football kicks off. But
right. Okay. That may see you're pardoned this one time because you're a creature of habit. We all
creature of
are.
habit.
So yeah. Okay. That's we'll try to start our new habit. This is what we're doing. We're starting new habits. We're beginning anew.
Yes. I think that about wraps up what my life without football has started.
Okay, well let's continue to. Well, we might make another list next week and maybe some more ideas for people to do things. To make the off season speed by.
Yeah, we can do ideas for people, and we could actually share personal experiences of how we're doing it, how we're coping with life without football.
I like that idea. That's a good idea too. Okay, let's get to NBA because this is one of the ways I'm going to cope with life without football. NBA. Let's all right. So it's been a while. Let's start with the NBA All-Star break. This one was okay. I obviously the highlight is Matt McClung. He may have saved the dunk contest.
He may have.
It was, again, not trying to bring race into this. We're not racist or anything like that, but it almost had to be a white guy, right? Because it's just like the dunk contest has been dominated by African Americans.
Well, naturally,
it had to be a white guy, and I mean. Matt McClung's he's a very, very talented talented guy. I don't want to take away from him. He jammed those dunks in it was the first try.
Yeah,
that was his Super Bowl or his finals.
That was his NBA finals right there.
Yeah, the 76ers signed him for a 2-week contract and gave him $100,000.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest thing that he brought back into it was creativity without the props. Where,
right.
I guess, having somebody there is one thing, but, we had, the jumping over the car type of situation. Right. We had, all the flair and the pizzazz and stuff, and that wasn't really, but you actually, if you broke down the dunks, wasn't really actually, an impressive dunk. Whereas, your Vince Carters, your Michael Jordan from the free throw line, which, I know that wasn't for the dunk contest. Was it for the dunk contest?
I think it was for the dunk contest.
But,
no, I know what you're talking about. The Vince Carter windmill probably is one of the best dunks of all time.
Yeah.
And, it's just, it's back to basics. You bring it back to the basics, and I think people like it. I also think that we should probably get random people to do the dunk contest and have them the Globetrotters. Just juice them the fuck up.
Yep.
Have trampolines so that they can get 30 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Have them dive into the hoop and go through it. I think that should be the new dunk contest. I think also with the 3-point contest to make it more interesting, they should pick 5 random people from the crowd. So they have 5 NBA players, 5 random people from the crowd.
Okay.
And just because we always want to show. I know this is in football too, but we always want to show how much better these guys are than the random average Joes.
Yes,
we always want to see that.
Yes.
So I think that would make just put a little spice into it because it's just it's the same thing and the dunks have been kind of boring. Nobody really wants to do it either.
Yeah, it would really shut up the couch potato all-star lineup. The guys that are the couch potato superstars that they're basically yelling at the TV why aren't you doing this? I could do that type of thing. It would shut them up a little bit.
Shut them up. Yeah. It's look, this is what you would look like out there. Now shut up. Eat your potato chips. But yeah, I didn't really have too much from the All-Star break. I love the whole. I love how close the NBA is right now. It was a nice All-Star. It was a nice break, and then we come back, and the first week after was awesome. Yeah. The NBA is doing a great job of putting the best matchups on Saturday and Sundays. We just had the 76ers Celtics game where Tatum made a last second 3 and then Joel Embiid almost made a 3-quarter shot or almost a full court shot.
Oh, that one. Yep.
Yeah, he made the. It was like 3/4 of the court, and he drained it, but he shot it too late. But it was just, it's wild. I mean, imagine a fucking Boston Celtics 76ers series, like a Eastern Conference semifinal series.
Yeah, no, that would be good. But it's funny that you pointed out about Embiid, because during that same week, Paul George had an almost game winner where both of them made their shots. It just was right after the buzzer.
It's fucking wild. I love it. NBA's heating up. Let's start with the East. I got a couple of notes from the East. As of today, now I don't know what's going on in the NBA right now. Because we're recording in the middle of the games, but Milwaukee is on a 14-game winning streak.
Yep.
They have Brooklyn tonight. I know our boy Cam Thomas is doing his thing, but it's going to be tough to beat the Bucks.
Well, the Bucks are on fire right now. They just got tied with Boston with the top of the East.
They're winning now. They're leading the East.
It technically is the same. Even though they're one game back.
Technically, they are above.
Oh, okay.
Technically, but it is.
I mean,
the same.
they're top on the standings, so
yeah,
okay.
The percentage wise.
Okay.
Yes, technically, but I know what you're saying. They're like they have the same amount of, or no, Boston has one more win, but Milwaukee has one less loss.
Yes,
I think.
that's what it is. The nerd in me was trying to clarify that.
Speaking of red hot, the Knicks. The Knicks are red hot. Since acquiring Josh Hart and reuniting him with Jalen Brunson, the Knicks are 6-0.
6-0.
6-0 and are just on fire.
It seems hot.
I like Josh Hart. I like this pickup for Josh Hart. This pickup for the Knicks. They need a true point guard. They need a guy that can control it. He's a point guard, right? I think he's a point guard.
Yeah. I mean, he's mostly known for his defense.
I thought that's what they picked him up for.
Well, they got, I don't know, Brunson sometimes plays like the shooting guard position, the offset. I'm trying to think who else is on that lineup, but Hart kind of plays, I want to say he either plays point or he plays the 3, like a 3-and-D guy.
Mm-hmm. He's a shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
I don't know. I think that he adds a good. I don't know. Let's put it this way. They're 6-0 since he's been there, so something's working out. And I think Julius Randle's finally. It's like I think he's becoming that alpha. I think he's the the Jimmy Butler to Miami Heat is Julius Randle to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. I think he's kind of establishing himself as that. I do know a friend of mine. He's a Knicks fan. He does not like Julius Randle. I mean, he's starting to come around, but he did not like him at first because of he was. Julius Randle was a little bit of a problem. He had an attitude issue.
Yeah. Well, and then also it's not as much pressure on him now with Brunson there. Mm-hmm. Jalen Brunson is now another offensive scorer that you can, a go-to guy when you need a score that you don't always have to just dish it down low with Randle, mm-hmm. especially if they're double teaming him. So, yeah. No, I think that's been able to help him fill into his role, like you said, and be a little bit more dominant.
Dude, the East is stacked. The fucking Celtics, 76ers, the Heat. They just got Kevin Love. Jimmy Butler is on a fucking mission. Brooklyn's fallen, but we knew that was coming. And, dude, Cleveland...
Well, that's kind of what happens when you trade 2 superstars off of the team.
Right. But like I said, our boy Cam Thomas still putting up 20-plus points a game.
No, absolutely.
Cleveland, I don't know. They're kind of going steady. They're at number 4. They're 4th in the East. They're just sticking around. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a fucking monster. They actually have a really good team.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland.
Yeah.
And then they got the Twin Towers in the back with Mobley and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Josh Allen's good too.
Or no, Jared Allen.
I mean, I'm sorry, Jared Allen.
Yeah. I was.
There's a lot of Allens.
Yeah. Yep.
The Celtics are the best team in the league. I know the Milwaukee Bucks, like, they're on fire right now, but like Jason Tatum, ice in his veins,
mm-hmm.
and he just that whole team is just they play together. They're too good.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it was funny because like they lost their head coach. I mean, that's not funny, but you know what I'm saying. It was funny how they lost their head coach at the beginning of the season, and they were just like, we don't give a shit. Like we're going back to the championship. We're a team on a mission.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're showing it. They're absolutely showing it. And like, it's gonna be hard to beat the Celtics in a 7-game series. It will. My prediction, I hope it's this. I hope it's Boston versus 76ers in the semifinals and the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Knicks.
Okay.
And then the winner of those two play each other for the Eastern Conference the Eastern Conference Finals.
Gotcha.
It's going to be fun. For the West, do you got anything else for the East?
I think that's about it. Well, actually, I thought this was quite interesting how Atlanta hired Quinn Snyder mid-season.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Atlanta. I don't think Trae Young's happy. He was bitching about something like before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
The coach, I think, and obviously they got rid of him, but like I don't know. It just something's weird about Atlanta. It just feels off.
My biggest thing is, like, when have we seen a head coach get hired on at the middle of the season that wasn't an interim coach?
Right? Usually they have an interim.
They usually have an interim coach, which they did. They had an interim coach who was 2-0, but they hired on Quinn Snyder, who's going to take on his responsibilities during the season, which is very interesting because he pointed out, he was like, well, this gives us an opportunity, maybe go on a run. We're still kind of in contention, yada, yada, yada. And then the other thing, which makes an interesting point, is I get to kind of evaluate the team this year and make any like adjustments that I want to do or establish a culture. And then, basically he's got all of his priorities set but whenever he gets to the off season. So it's a really intriguing situation. That's all I kind of wanted to point out about it.
And here's Atlanta's right in the mix in the playoffs. They're number 8 right now. So like they have a legitimate shot. I mean, obviously we talked about this. A lot of teams do, but they have a shot at like making the playing game and then to possibly going to the going deep into the playoffs. Because like once you get to the playoffs, obviously the lower seeds are gonna. The NBA is one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's the playoffs, but number 1 seed is going to beat number 8.
It's no March Madness.
It's not March Madness. It's not the NFL playoffs. It's you can kind of like predict the first 2 rounds, and it's after that's when things start to go haywire.
Yeah. But there must have been some inside drama at Utah.
At Utah,
there must have been some drama because the thing is, he had a good roster, and his excuse was he couldn't get him over the top. I don't know. That smells a little fishy. I'm thinking if he wins at Atlanta, there's a Netflix documentary going to come out about what happened at Utah, the drama.
I agree. It
just seems like there was some inside stuff that was going on that was a reason why he went out.
The NBA is getting like dangerously close to a reality TV show.
Oh, absolutely.
It is dangerously close. And like I do like how we could probably have documentaries come out like a couple of years later on like just complete drama in the back, like behind the scenes.
Why haven't we gotten a Hard Knocks for basketball?
We need actually, that's what we need a Hard Knocks for.
We need a hardwood show.
You know that show Ballers with The Rock?
Yeah.
Can we do that with fucking basketball, please?
Yeah.
Like, can we do something like that with basketball? Because that's like the perfect fucking sport or the perfect league to do a reality TV show on.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant would star in it.
It would be the number one.
He would sign up immediately. Him and LeBron.
Oh, yeah. Well, LeBron would direct it.
Yes.
Produced and directed by LeBron James, of course. But, like, we'd have, like, Chris Paul. Like, yeah, come on. We'd have so many different personalities. Like, we could have John Morant's gang run up and, point lasers at people. It'd be fun.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be a good time. Let's get to the West. The West is super fucking close. So the difference, as of today, the difference between 4th place and 13th place is separated by 4 fucking games. I'm going to repeat that. 4th place in the West, all the way down to 13th place in the West, is separated by 4 fucking games.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it. Like, obviously, the East is stacked. They're dominant. They got, like, really, really good teams up at the top. I kind of love this. This is kind of like March Madness chaos. This is just going, like you go on, like, a 3-game win streak, and you could be from missing the playoffs into above the play-in game.
Yeah, I think we're in that transitional period where, sometimes where the league can be, and this could be for any professional sports, where it could be top heavy, at times. But then, like, the way it's set up where, the lower teams, teams that don't fare as well get the higher draft pick. They're able to acquire some more assets. They usually save up on capital space, and then they catch themselves back up. I feel like we're in that transitional period right now where they're catching up to the higher teams that have been making their runs, maybe aging out a little bit, like the Golden State Warriors. Not saying that they're out of their championship window, obviously, but they've
been plagued by injuries, though.
Yeah, the talent level kind of meets back up at the middle, and we get competitive, good basketball like this.
In the West, it's like Denver and then everybody else.
Yes,
that's it. And Denver's the D is for dominant. They are the dominant team in the West. The Lakers are done. They're going to reassess LeBron James's ankle in the next 2 weeks. It is not looking good.
Yeah, what is it? They said right now, several weeks, they're going to assess like you said. I'm thinking they're going to give us the worst case scenario timeline just so LeBron can come back before it.
Yeah, that's you're very woke on that. That's
LeBron James, like he will set his sights to dominate the comeback time for an injury.
So the headlines will be, LeBron James miracle comeback.
Yes,
beat the odds and came back 2 weeks before his. But yeah, that's a good point. Good way to get ahead of that one, Joe. Good.
Yep.
Good job. But here's the thing, like the amount of points and productivity that LeBron James has been putting up this year, like he's still at 27 points a game. Like obviously this is pre-injury, but 27 points a game. He's like throwing up like 7 or 8 assists, and he's putting up like 8 or 9 rebounds. Like he's really, really close to a triple double. Like not like super close, but he is a couple of assists and a couple of rebounds off. He's had that production, and they're still struggling. Now imagine that team without him.
Yeah.
So and then they got rid of Pat Bev. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. They're done. They're done. Anthony Davis, he's a very, very talented player. He's not an alpha. We've been saying that since he's been in New Orleans. He's a beta. He needs to play with an alpha.
Yep.
So they're done. How about the fucking Kings out of nowhere?
The Kings out of nowhere.
Kings out of fucking left field, dude. Like they had that the game against the Clippers that went into double OT. That was the second highest scoring game in NBA history. You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk had like 40 something points off the bench. It was fucking wild.
Yep.
And they ended up winning. They won that game.
Yep.
Now that would be a fun series. If the Kings versus Clippers 7 games, that would be money.
I could see that.
That would be great. Memphis is solid. You think so? You think Memphis is solid? They're just like, I don't know. They haven't had the best February. I think that's what I saw. Like they're 4-5 before tonight in February. I think they started off hot.
They did, and it's just I don't know. It seems like it's a Ja Morant and gang. That's the way they've been kind of piecing that team together, where there's not really like another superstar on that team. I mean, they have Bane, but
Bane's good.
Yeah, and Bane's good, but like I don't know. It just seems like it's a Ja Morant and gang.
Ja Morant and friends.
And friends, yeah, right. So I don't know how far he's going to single-handedly be able to carry him whenever you get to the playoffs.
They need to put some pieces around him.
I kind of want to
I want to peruse because they're still second in the West. But like I said, I think it's Denver and then everyone else.
I mean, it reminded me a little bit of like the Mavericks a little bit with like Luka. before they traded for Kyrie. Like, he used to have Brunson on the team, but now, Brunson moved on, so they knew that they had to get somebody else in there, in which they brought Kyrie Irving.
Dude, honestly, this entire team is under 30 years old. They do not have a single 30-year-old on this team. The oldest one is Steven Adams. Steven Adams, and he's 29. So I don't know.
Really?
Jaren Jackson's pretty good too. Jaren Jackson has actually kind of showed out. Dylan Brooks is very good. They have they have one superstar, and then it's all really good players.
Yes,
really solid players.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Kennard. I love watching Luke Kennard on the team.
He got traded in the offseason.
Yeah, Desmond Bane. Yeah, so they have a really solid team, and then with John Morant emerging as a superstar, I actually kind of like that team a lot. It's not like John Morant's. He's an electric player. The Clippers. Okay, well, actually, we got to talk about the Suns. We have to talk about the Suns.
Well, obviously,
if the Suns don't win, that trade's a failure, right?
Oh, absolutely. They went all in.
They did, and I don't think it's going to work out next year if they don't win this year. The only way this trade works out is if they win this year. This is a win now team.
Yeah. Because Kevin Durant's going to have an expiration date. He's going to have an expiration date when he wants to get traded.
He's like 35, dude. He's injury prone. He's hobbling.
Yeah. But at some point, he's going to get tired of your team and your organization, and he's going to want to go to another one.
Yes, absolutely.
So he can have another honeymoon phase.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So yeah, Suns it's a winner go home situation. Let's see, the Clippers. I did want to talk about the Clippers because they now have the cancer on their team. Mm-hmm. Good old Russ Westbrook. So they're not going to win. Anyone who put a future on the Clippers to win. Sorry to bust your bubble. They're not going to win.
Well, it's hard to get over two cancers, Russell Westbrook and Paul George.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They're both very, very good basketball players. They're cancers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to have the discussion? Is Kyrie Irving a cancer?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think so. He won a championship. I don't think you can. I think LeBron James cured him.
LeBron James cured him?
Yeah. Come on. That. Let's go ahead and look at that team. J.R. Smith smoked so much weed that he forgot how to play basketball in the most pivotal time in that series.
Yeah, but Kyrie, he's going to have his off the field issues because he's just going to whatever he's thinking at that time. He's going to just say it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe LeBron's the antidote.
LeBron could be the antidote.
Without LeBron, he's a cancer.
Because LeBron, it could be said he just rode LeBron to the championship because LeBron went to the championship for 10 years straight.
Oh yeah, he did.
He went to the finals for 10 years straight.
He did. But it's hard. I have a hard time labeling somebody as a cancer when they have a ship. It's tough. I understand where the argument can be made against it. Russell Westbrook, Paul George, they're all cancers. I'd even say James Harden might be a cancer, right? He hasn't won one.
Yeah, James Harden.
James Harden might be a cancer. He's playing lights out right now, but still, that's the thing. You have to be good enough. It's like a fraud. It's like a fraud team. You can't be labeled a fraud if you're bad, right? Mm-hmm. You can't be labeled a cancer if you're not a good NBA player.
So maybe did they all three become cancers whenever OKC lost that championship game?
Who?
Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden.
No, because Kevin Durant he won 2 with Golden State.
He rode them.
Again, this goes back to can you really be a cancer if you've won a championship? If you have a ring, I don't think you can be cancers. Kevin Durant has 2. So at this point, and I get it. He rode off the coattails of the Warriors and Steph Curry.
Yes.
And the fact that they won one again after he left kind of proves that point. I get it. I really do think that I don't know. You have to, but we can both agree you have to be a certain level of talent in order to be called a cancer. Because if you're Spencer Dinwiddie, you can't be a cancer. No offense to Spencer Dinwiddie, he's not good enough to be considered a cancer if he doesn't win a ship.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I don't know. You can also just be cancer and just kind of be poisonous to the locker room, you know?
No, but we're talking about cancer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, cancer, I'm saying the cancer is just, preventing a team from being its absolute best.
Preventing them from winning a ship.
Just single-handedly.
Single-handedly. Okay. But if you win a ship, you can't be a cancer. All right, let's move on. Anyways, that was our cancer talk. The Dallas Mavericks, they're going to need some time. But it does seem like Kyrie's having fun. Now, that's usually what happens when he goes to a new place. It's like you're finding a new toy. You know, you like it for a little bit, and then you toss it aside.
It's the honeymoon phase.
It is. Let's see what happens if he sticks around for the commitment. Luka Doncic is still scoring. He's still putting up numbers, and Kyrie Irving's still doing his thing. So they haven't really had the best February since Kyrie's gotten there. But I think it just give them time to gel. I think they'll make a little push here late in the season.
Well, yeah, you obviously can't. I know they've been trying to criticize them already because they had a tough time getting that first win together. But you gotta let them get some chemistry. I mean, two players like that, you gotta have them gel together. It takes some time.
Kyrie's smiling though. He's smiling.
He's happy.
I'm pretty pumped about that one. The Pelicans forgot how to play basketball. It's like Zion goes down, and then they just progressively get terrible and terrible at basketball. I like Willie Green. I do. You got to get control of your fucking players. You have to you can't just keep losing like this.
Yeah.
You have way too much talent, even with Zion out, to be losing like this. Mm-hmm. It's bad. It's bad. Brandon Ingram, he looks like he gets more and more stoned as the season goes on.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that.
Yeah, and he's not playing very well. He's kind of in a funk. McCollum's the only one that's okay. Our boy Jose Alvarado, he's doing what he can, but
he's got a ceiling.
He's got a low ceiling. There's a reason why he hustles as much as he does.
Yeah.
It's like when I play basketball. I run around the court and try and get rebounds because that's about all I'm good for.
Yeah.
I can't play basketball very well. I can do some layups and I can get some rebounds and I can outrun people. That's about all I got. He's kind of the same way. And Jonas Valanciunas, Jonas is lazy. Dude, he doesn't fucking play defense. He just stands under the hoop and just grabs whatever rebounds he can get and puts up layups. Yeah. That's it. I'm kind of done with them. I might be lashing out and just overreacting because of how bad the Pelicans are playing right now. But I think Jonas Valanciunas somebody needs to slap him around and wake him up.
Yeah. Now tell him that he's not Travis Kelce. He's got to be playing basketball.
Yes, he's not. He looks like Travis Kelce, but he's not. I still don't know when Zion's coming back. I don't think anybody does. I don't even think Zion knows when Zion's
like the opposite of LeBron James. He sees a timetable of when he should return and he extends it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's rough. Let's see. I got the T-Wolves. Do you see who's balling out for the T-Wolves nowadays?
It's not Cat?
No.
No way.
It's our boy.
Oh, LSU boy, huh?
Uh-huh.
Who's it?
Naz Reid.
Yeah.
He's balling out. He had 30-something points the other day. So, yeah, it's always nice seeing our LSU boys ball out. The last thing I had, the Spurs haven't won a basketball game since January 17th. They're on a 16-game losing streak. Unfortunately, I mean, he's a legend of the game. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I think Popovich is on his way out.
Yeah.
I think he needs to hang up the old jacket.
Yeah, I mean, you either die a hero or you see yourself live long enough to be the villain.
Yep. And he's kind of he probably should have hung it up a couple of years ago. I get it. He's a basketball guy through and through. Love his personality. He's one of my favorite personalities in sports, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear? I heard this. So you know how the Mannings have a Manning cast?
Yes.
Bill Walton has a Walton cast.
Has a Walton cast.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and he just takes mushrooms, gets high, and calls games in the best Bill Walton way of all time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
All for it?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Dude, I might take shrooms with him and just listen to Bill Walton talk.
Is this like an ESPN thing?
Yeah. Like, well, I don't know if it's an ESPN thing, but he does have his own cast.
Okay.
And I'll look into it. I'll get the details for you. But yeah, Spurs haven't won since January 17th.
So is Tim Duncan Popovich's Tom Brady to
Kinda.
Belichick?
That's what that's what it's looking like.
It's looking like that.
That's what it's looking like. But I mean, if you think about it, not everybody can be Phil Jackson. You just jump from one star to the other. Like there's a lot of coaches that ride off of like people, like their players. The players and the coaches ride off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of people a lot of duos that do that. Drew Brees and Sean Payton.
Yep.
Good example. We'll see how Sean Payton does in Denver, but yeah.
What's that thing that I guess people die from, like old people die from whenever they're married or their loved one passes away? They die from like a heartbreak or something.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It's like their career died of a heartbreak.
Yep. Let's see. You got anything else on the West?
Yeah, a fun fact with Nikola Jokic balling out.
He might be another fucking. He might get a third MVP in a row.
Oh yeah. Just had himself recently another triple double, 40, 17, and 10 assists. They are 23-0 whenever he gets a triple double. 23-0. They're
but that's a high undefeated.
That's a very high undefeated. I was gonna say it's kind of like the anti-Russell Westbrook. You remember whenever he was getting triple doubles?
Yeah.
But they weren't like winning all the time. They were doing pretty good, but they weren't winning all the time. He's like the anti-Russell Westbrook.
That's funny.
Whereas Russell Westbrook, he was like Blake Bortles. He was just all stats guy. it doesn't matter what the outcome of the game was, as long as he got the stats. It's like, hey, check out that triple double I had.
Check out that trip dub. He might win a third MVP. I hope it's gonna be like someone like Tatum or Embiid, but I mean you could make a great case for him.
I mean he's still balling out,
dominating the league. I have my two early predictions. I don't know. I forgot to tell you about this earlier, so you can kind of go off the fly. But my Eastern Conference Finals game is going to be right now. As of now, it's going to be Boston versus Milwaukee. Hopefully, it works out that way with the seedings. And Western Conference Finals, Denver versus Phoenix. I'm gonna have it Boston versus Denver, and Boston's winning. Okay. I just think that Boston's nobody. I don't think anybody can beat Boston over a 7-game series.
Interesting.
I don't know. It just they just got too many clutch players.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a very good point, and like we were talking about how Boston's already made it to the championship, so it's not a matter of like a lack of experience because they still have the same guys, and they got that chip on their shoulder that they didn't win.
Yeah,
so that's definitely big time. That's definitely going to help them out in the long run. As far as mine doing it on the fly, I just pulled up the conference standings to kind of get something.
Eastern Conference Championship.
I mean, you're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go with Milwaukee and Boston.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's just those two are just way too dominant. Both of them also are very experienced, in the playoffs.
Also, I really want to see that series.
Oh, absolutely.
I really want it.
I want to see it again.
Yes, rematch.
So, in the Western Conference Finals, I think Jokic finally gets over the hump. I think he gets he goes to at least the championship, the Western Conference Championship, and oh man,
it's tough, right?
It is.
So I had to put the Phoenix Suns up there just because of Durant, but yeah, it is. It's.
It could be a lot of things.
I almost want to say the Kings might make a run, but it's.
I don't know if they have the experience right
Me
now.
neither.
I think it's not. Let me go with a wild card here. Let me go with Dallas.
Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas
Nice.
Mavericks put it together, and with Kyrie.
So who's going to the finals?
Give me Denver and give me Boston.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win that?
Boston wins it.
Me too. All right, so we're on the same page pretty much. I like the Dallas Mavericks wild card. Like if Kyrie and all them start gelling,
Yeah.
nice. All right, let's get to OTDISH on this day in sports history. We'll go. I'll do one. You do one. On February 28th in 1849, 11th Grand National, Tom Cunningham wins a board 20-1. Peter Simple. Second consecutive year. There are 3 equine fatalities during the race. I have no idea what any of those words mean.
Equine is horse related.
I know.
So.
I understand that part, but does that sentence make any sense to you?
Second consecutive year where there was 3 fatalities.
There are 3 equine fatalities during the race.
Did one of them I would have to say like they all like at some point like just fell down and like they got bucked off the horse.
11th Grand National, Tom Cunningham wins a board 20-1. Peter Simple.
Wins a board.
Yeah. See, that whole thing. I actually only put that on there because none of it made sense.
It makes no sense.
It makes no fucking sense. What's yours?
All right. Well, I had some basketball related ones. So in 1981, Calvin Murphy of Houston sets the NBA record with 78 consecutive free throws, and I was like,
78. That's consecutive free throws. That's like Steve Nash numbers. That's Steph Curry. But I don't even think either one of them have done it.
That's actually a good point that you bring up. I actually was wondering if how long that was stood and if it was still around. So I was able to pull out the top 3 guys. So that record got broken by Dirk Nowitzki in 2011.
That's insane how Dirk Nowitzki is such a big guy but can make that many fucking free throws.
Oh, absolutely. He made 82
Jeez.
in a row. That was also his 2011 year where he just went absolutely bonkers and won the championship.
Yeah.
Then number 2, in 2008, Jose Calderon.
Oh, I remember that Spanish dude.
Yeah.
He was an assist machine. He made, how many did he make?
He made 87 free throws in a row. And honestly, I remember him mostly because of fantasy.
Yeah, no, me too.
Because he was one of those that also, he was good with the free throw percentage and free throws, but he was also good with assists.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he would average like 9 or 10 assists a game.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And the number 1.
Now, I wasn't very familiar with Michael Williams. He was played back in 1993, but he made 97 free throws in a row.
97. That's wild. You make 97 free throws.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do anything that consistently 97 times. I mean, I could. Yeah, no, I don't think I can. That's like.
Well, I mean, this is also a span of a couple of games. I mean, it's just free throws made.
I understand that. But like that's still, I could absolutely. I don't even think I could do that with layups.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely miss. I would like, and I could just break it up as much as I want. I would still. Impressive.
Yes.
In 1940 was the first televised basketball game. It was University of Pittsburgh versus Fordham U. University of Pitt beat Fordham U 50-37. That was in 1940. That's how early on these games were being televised, which I think is kind of impressive. I wouldn't have guessed 1940s.
Yeah, I would have thought maybe 1950s, maybe 1960s.
60s, yeah. Something like 50s, 60s, 50s where they started like trying out baseball, you know. I don't know. Which
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. My next one, I'll continue with some basketball. Another consecutive one. 1967 on this date, Wilt Chamberlain, which we all know, sinks NBA record 35th consecutive field goal.
Was that in one game?
No, I don't think that was in one game, but it was consistent or consecutive.
That's wild, dude. These fucking streaks are just insane. Now, granted, okay, I will say this: Wilt Chamberlain was like a foot and a half taller than everybody else, so like he probably just had a bunch of layups.
Yeah.
But I like to imagine he was taking 20-footers.
He was like today's talent, but like, back with a bunch of white people.
Back with, with a bunch of white dudes. On this date in 1960, USA wins its first Olympic ice hockey gold medal at Squaw Valley with a 9-4 victory over Czechoslovakia.
Oh.
Now Czech Republic and Slovakia. Yeah. So, first U.S. Olympic gold in ice hockey, 1960.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, because about this time is usually when the Olympics is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. 1971 PGA Championship, men's golf, PGA National East. Went wire to wire. Jack Nicholson wins second career Grand Slam. There's Grand Slams in golf?
Yeah. The four majors.
Oh.
Yeah. So like a career Grand Slam, you win the British Open, U.S. Open, Masters, and why can't I think of the other one? British Open, U.S. Open,
PGA Championship,
and Masters. Yeah.
Okay.
You win all four. I think Tiger's one of the only people who have done it all in 1 year.
Gotcha.
Most of them do career Grand Slam. But yeah, wire to wire, dude. That's fucking wild. In 1999, Venus and Serena Williams become first sisters to win WTA Tour events on the same day. Again, GOAT status for both of those.
Absolutely.
GOAT status. All right, like we said, we're going to do on this day in history, not just sports history. We're going to teach y'all some fucking history. I'll go first. In 1991, the Persian Gulf War, an international conflict that was triggered by Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, ended as Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein accepted a ceasefire agreement. Fuck that motherfucker.
Oh, he's dead now.
He dead. Fuck that dude.
All right. I go a little bit way back in history. In 1849, there was the first boatload of gold rush prospectors arrived in San Fran from the East Coast.
Is that where boatload came from?
That's exactly what I was about to say. That is actually the first origin of the word boatload. That is slang.
Nice. A nice little side note.
Yes.
Boatload. Gold rush. I love it. A little side note. In 1953, on this date, the chemical structure of DNA was discovered.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know who did it.
1953.
1953, right? That's way older than I like. The fact, like, just the 50s had more technology than I thought.
Yeah.
The 40s and 50s I thought was just like a bunch of like machine guns and like old pictures where you needed like these giant like flashes and it basically practically blinded you and it was all black and white. No, they had a lot of technology back then.
I mean, I guess when a world war gets started, it ramps things up quite quickly.
Right? Yeah. It forces you to. But yeah, that's OTDISH. Let's get to some college basketball. Dude, it's heating up, baby.
It's heating up.
It's heating up. We're about to get to our the conference tournaments. I know some of them start March 3rd. Most of the bigger conferences, they'll start March 7th and March 8th.
Yeah, we actually have a couple of conferences that did start, the little ones, Atlantic Sun Conference.
Oh, they started today, huh?
Yep, Horizon League and the Sun Belt all started today.
Your boys in the Sun Belt.
Oh, yeah, University of South Alabama.
Yeah.
South in your mouth.
South in your mouth. Nice. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, that's a big student chant over there.
Oh, South's in your mouth. Okay.
Just comes right at you.
Yeah. Right in your face. All right, well, let me focus up again. Dude, it feels like anybody can win. So like in the rankings, it's Houston's number one. They're a very, very good team.
Yep.
And then it's just like kind of like I feel like it's everybody else. Like obviously Alabama's really good, but what's his face? Brandon Miller. Is it Brandon Miller?
Yep, Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller, he's I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I think he's gonna play the rest of the season, right?
That's apparently he has not been found. He was kind of associated in a certain way that he was like there was a text that was sent apparently, but like he wasn't involved in the act.
Apparently
allegedly,
he was accused of providing the gun.
Yes,
and So I understand, like, you saw his the pregame celebration, or not celebration, pregame warm up,
I'd heard about it.
the pat down.
Yep.
All right. In fairness, he had been doing that all season, but like kind of like that's a read the room type of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a read the room type of thing. Maybe he was trying to tell us something all year.
Maybe he's just like telling everybody like, hey, or he's just into like plot twists or like trying to make a movie, like
Okay.
like with like how those movies have like subtle signs, or what do you call them, where they like kind of predict the end? I don't know I forget what they're called. I'm not
a forecast or like a
I don't know premonition. No, not I don't know. It shows like kind of like parts of what the I don't know,
like an Easter egg,
something
sort
like
of.
that. I don't know. Anyways, that might have been what he was doing. But my point is, it feels like anyone can win. Like back to what I was saying. It feels like anyone can win. I mean, FSU upset Miami, UNC upset Virginia. I mean, so did Boston College upset Virginia too. Mm-hmm. Indiana upset Purdue. Illinois upset Northwestern. Like it just seems like it's kind of like a free for all, and I think that makes for a great fucking March Madness. I think
absolutely.
that's going to be just beautiful.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna pick Houston to go to the Final Four, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be a fun ride.
It's definitely bracketology season right now.
Yeah,
this is the time. Like, even though he does the bracketology like all year round, this is the time that you actually really focus on it and it actually matters. Like I actually took a look myself and saw like the different bubble watch and bracketology. Got the last four buys right now: Memphis, West Virginia, Nevada, Auburn. Last four in: Mississippi State, Boise State, Wisconsin, and Arizona State. First four out: UNC, Oklahoma State, Clemson, Michigan.
Dude, the fact that Clemson and UNC are on the first four out list is wild. Clemson's like 21-8.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. And then you have to have UNC in the fucking tournament.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, they're in fear of missing out on the tournament for like first time in like 30 years or something like that.
I know.
Obnoxious. And then next four out: Utah State, Charleston, Penn State, and Texas Tech.
Texas Tech has a big one against Kansas. If they can somehow pull off the upset tonight against Kansas,
mm-hmm.
they could that would probably seal a win for them. Actually, I kind of want to look up what that score is.
Yep.
Oh, they're not. It's Kansas is winning 43-36 with 14:35 left in the second. So maybe they can make a comeback. I don't know.
But Kansas actually is the one that's in. They might have the best shot at doing a back-to-back championship or NCAA championship
since Florida
back in 06 and 07.
And then who else did it? Duke did it before them in the 90s, huh?
I believe so.
I think that was it. I still look back on that Florida team and like wonder how it was all set. Like Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer, Chris Lee, like, or was it? It was, I think. Oh, who was the Lee guy? It was like a short little white point guard.
And his last name was Lee. It's very fitting.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, dude, so like back to bracketology. Bracketology is my favorite thing. It's very simple. It's easy for me to understand.
Yes.
Do you practice like with the conference tournaments?
As far as for the NCAA
to kind of prepare you for
yes, it's a very good way to prepare yourself, because especially the smaller conferences are a little bit harder because you can only really identify certain teams that's actually made a run in the NCAA tournament. Because I'm like, oh look, there's Florida Gulf Coast, Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
They had that Dunk City one time, and then you got there is Mercer. They're usually typically in there, so you only identify a couple of them. So it's basically just a spot out guess, but you get to see which ones become hot.
Right. What's the Sister Jean one?
That should
Loyola?
be Loyola,
Chicago.
Yeah,
that's another one. Yeah, you just pick out the. I like to practice with the major conferences.
The major
conferences. You got to practice, and I think like I practicing this shit has nothing to do with how you're gonna lose in your bracket pool, but it makes me feel better.
Yes,
makes me feel better. I feel like I'm more prepared.
I wonder this time. Then I just got a thought here. What if we used AI to predict the tournament.
Can we do that?
I don't know. I'm going to try to find out.
Because they can write your paper, but
Yeah.
they should be able to predict the fucking games.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a bracket that is completely AI generated.
Okay. That's actually interesting.
Yes.
Let's see if the computer is smart enough to
I'm going to go against the computer.
I'm gonna go against the computer too because all they're gonna look at is the stats. And March Madness, as we've seen, does not go based off stats.
Yes. So
if anything, you could be like one of our friends in college and pick. It was a girl. She picked all the teams based on how good looking the coaches were.
Yes.
And for some reason, she thought Coach Sasevsky looked really good and picked Duke to win, and that happened to be a year they won.
Well, it was the hair coloring.
That is. Yeah, he would be he probably gets implants too.
Yeah.
Fucking. Well, I don't know.
Maybe
He's
Botox.
he's out of the league, so we can't. Let's not talk too much shit.
Talk ill about the dead from the league.
Yeah. You got anything else in college basketball? I'm pretty pumped. We're definitely gonna keep track of everything as the conference tournaments play out, and we're definitely gonna keep up with March Madness.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's fun. It's the best time of the year.
Yep. Oh, I don't know about best time.
No.
I do think like October might be like the best time.
Okay.
It's like all four sports.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, because hockey and football is starting up. Baseball's ending. You got basketball's about to getting underway. Yeah, October is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyways, you got anything else on the college basketball?
That's about it.
All right, let's get to some other sports news. Baseball's heating up. They got these these spring training is it's been weird. They had the Braves game end in a tie because the batter couldn't get in the batter's box in time, and so that he technically struck out. The big bases look funny. Anything that's bigger than the normal size looks funny. Like that's why clowns wear big shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're funny.
Yeah, big things are just they're funnier. Like bigger than most normal things. They're just funnier. So the bags look funny. Okay. So far, apparently, like 50% of the players like the new rules, like because there's no shift change. There's the pitch count, not the count. You have like 15 to 20 seconds or something between pitches.
15 seconds, yeah.
And then you have 30 seconds in between each batter. So like it speeds up the game, and 50% of the players like it, 50% of the players don't. I think it's good. They're going to need to work out some kinks, and people are going to have to adjust. I kind of like it. Baseball games were way too long.
Yes.
Way too long. You can't get in the flow, and like as a viewer, you can't get in the flow. Like with NFL football, for some reason, I feel like I can, even though they stop every down, there's a flow to it. With baseball, there's too much starting and stopping.
Yep.
So I kind of like how they speed it up. It keeps me more in tune, and I stay more focused.
Yes.
You know. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, as I would say more of a casual, maybe leaning towards non-viewer of baseball, I do appreciate it, because while I know it does kind of maybe take away a little bit of the intensity as far as the pressure goes, I think it will ramp up in intensity as far as like you said, a little bit of swings, like different momentum swings and different stuff like that. But there's always a chance to improve on the rules. Like, hey, maybe we need a 20-second clock instead of a 15. Mm-hmm. You can always adjust it a little bit to see what best fits it. But I think you're right. For the games to not drag out so much. I mean, I think the only time we were really getting a lot of interest in baseball was because people didn't have time for 5-hour games, but they would make time for during the playoffs and the World Series.
Yeah, and when guys were juicing.
Which
again, bring back steroids. But yeah, so that's talking baseball. Again, I'm going to try and get into baseball a little bit more so that, the months of June and July, we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
because after the NFL draft, it's just like it's kind of like golf and baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, oh man, it's snooze fest. So we'll try and be a little more interesting during those months. Golf is about to start up big time. This is the Players is coming up in March 8th, I believe. No, March 9th starts. It officially kicks off golf season. Mm-hmm. Officially March 9th the Players tournament kicks off golf season. I'm so fucking excited. Yeah, I know it's boring, whatever. I fucking love golf. I love like big fucking tournaments in golf.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome. You can take a nap during it and wake up and you're at the end of the day.
You're still there.
Yeah, you're still there. We'll see how the Live Tour versus PGA Tour goes. It's starting to like, I don't know if it's gonna. Initially I thought it would be good because it's gonna be more golf, but I think they might just suck the life out of each other, and I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, especially since I guess a lot of the professionals are split, on which one they're playing at. So you really don't get the best. There's not a league with all the best.
It is nice that they are both allowed to play in majors. That is, if the Live Tour guys weren't allowed to play in majors, then that would be an issue.
Did they switch that rule?
No, I think that was always been a rule.
I heard the last time I remember it was like the PGA.
No, they can definitely play in majors. The Live, then it might have switched, but I know for a fact that the Live Tour guys can play in majors.
Okay.
So yeah, that was golf. So this is coming up this weekend is Joe's besides football season, this is Joe's Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
This is nobody loves the combine more than Joe Wilson. This is like Madden recruiting all packed in one. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to in Madden actually just simulate the season and just so I can get to the off season.
Right.
So I could, really hone in, which actually now the Madden season or during the season you're doing off-season moves like signing players and actually scouting, which is really cool. But yeah, no, this is definitely prime time for me right here. Is this off-season and the draft and the free agency? I live for it.
Yep. So so next week we are definitely going to break down the combine. Both Joe and I are gonna try and do our best to keep up with it, nitpicky keep up with it. I want we're gonna dedicate a decent bit of time next week to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it actually starts today. They started having people report to the combine today. They hadn't started the drills, but it'll go all the way through March 6th.
Gotcha.
So,
yep.
So it should wrap up by the time we get to our next episode. But yeah, it's going to be fun. That's going to be a scouting combine episode.
I do have a couple of things, a little prequel. Jalen Carter's not participating. I think that's fine. He's like one of the best. He's going to be number one.
Yeah.
So who cares? This is where I don't agree. Bryce Young is not going to be throwing.
He's not going to be throwing.
I think that's a bad idea.
You think so?
Yes, because people are still quite people think that C.J. Stroud should go before him. They think Anthony Richardson should go before him. That smoke screen is, dude. This is another thing. The reason I love the combine, the fucking smoke screens.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson? Are you kidding me? People are saying he's gonna go number one.
Well,
I love the guy. He was electric. He's athletic. But number one?
Well, I mean, the thing is that that's what these teams and these scouts they're good at this now. They're very good at this. It's not they're not only they got bored with actually evaluating talent. They know how to evaluate talent now. Now it's basically deceiving other people of how to evaluate talent. Which honestly, I will say this: Anthony Richardson is literally a mix of Cam Newton and Justin Fields all packaged into one. Like, this guy is an athletic freak.
He is. He's very athletic.
But there's only been like a handful of quarterbacks that's actually not been very productive in college and actually had good careers in the NFL.
Correct.
So that's gone in the first round.
He has a very strong arm. I don't know if it's accurate.
Exactly. So there's also, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into playing a quarterback in the NFL. But my guess is this. Because he's so athletic and he's got such raw talent, that means you, as a scout, you can inflate his status.
Oh, yeah.
You can inflate his status and make other teams want him because, you know, obviously that's not who you want. You just want somebody else to pick another quarterback before you actually have to pick, and you want somebody to drop. Goes right into Bryce Young. Bryce Young has characteristics that can knock him down. So if a team, like is a lower team that wants him to drop down, hey, let's knock on this guy's height and size a little bit. I love him as a quarterback because he has excellent pocket presence. He's had a stellar career at Alabama, and he's very accurate with the football. I think he will be good, but hey, there's some stuff we can knock him down on and knock him down to our team.
Mm-hmm. I think Anthony Richardson's going through the Cinderella effect right now.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is Cinderella is she's a maid. She's just a plain old maid. But then when she gets the magic dust, that smoke screen, the magic dust,
Yep.
she becomes this beautiful princess. That's what Anthony Richardson is at right now.
Yeah.
But once the clock strikes noon,
Yep.
once the draft actually hits, Anthony Richardson, like Cinderella, will go back to being plain old Anthony Richardson and plain old Cinderella.
So who's the fucking godmother?
I don't know. Wait, that's probably Nick
Who's
Saban.
the one that's dressing up this Anthony Richardson?
Bill Belichick. The godmother changes every time, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously it's going to be the teams that are in position. I like to picture Bill Belichick just like, meh, 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 meh. Him and Nick Saban are I don't know. But yeah, so I'm pretty pumped about the combine coming up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you got anything else, we'll wrap it up. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I think it's going to be really, really fucking good.
I think that's about it.
Alrighty, tune in next week. Later.
Later.